Hi friends, and welcome to Michigan. Well, many of you have been following along our 9-month adventure around the world. And even though we're back home, we don't want the adventure to stop. Now, we want to keep going, we want to stay active. But for those of you that know, I have been having issues with my knees, hip, and back. No fun. But one of the things we were thinking about was maybe we could keep being active on an e-bike.
Right, and so that brings us to the sponsor of today's episode, Hiboy E-bikes. They actually reached out to us and said, hey, thinking of Nancy's knee problems and all that, would you review our Hiboy EX6 Ebike and let us know what you think about it? And so, as you know, anything we recommend, we give you our unbiased, full opinion. We have no requirements to give a good review, bad review, anything of that nature. So we're just going to tell you exactly what we think about it. We're going to go from the unboxing of it and all the way through to putting it together. And then where are we going to go?
We are going to go to Glen Arbor, Michigan, and see some of the most beautiful fall changing of the colors. God's got his paintbrush out right now, and it's going to be gorgeous. So thank you for following along, and welcome to Living Phase 2. Well, it certainly looks like they packaged it up well.
That's right. So, like we said, you're going right. We haven't opened this. We don't know what's in it. We have no idea if this is going to take 10 minutes or an hour to put together. We're going to let you know exactly how it goes. So, let's get started here. You can see how the bike arrived. It arrived via FedEx, and it only took a few days to get here. The box is in good shape. And let's take a look and see what's inside.
Yep, it's rather heavy. I mean, the box with all of the packing materials was what, about 89 pounds?
That's right.
And the bike itself is about
60 pounds.
60 pounds.
Yeah, so, all right, here we go. Let's see this. All right, well, looks like it's packaged pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, you want to grab that other camera and we'll just show them. So I'm going to start digging into it while Nancy's behind the camera over there so that you can see everything. All right, here we go. Lots and lots of padding, as you can see. Okay. And it looks like the front tire is there. All right.
Doesn't say what.
Here we go. What to undo first, but instructions. Okay. Easy to get those out. Here we go. Well, what we're going to do is pause for just a second, read these instructions, see what we have to do so that we uncrate it properly, and then you'll be able to watch along as we go through this. So let's go do it and let's get this unpacked.
Well, so that took about 10 minutes to get it all unpackaged.
Right.
Which wasn't bad.
Yeah, so I do recommend have a pair of wire cutters. There's so many zip ties. I started with a knife like you might have saw in the time lapse, and then I went and picked up a pair of these. This made it go 100 times faster, and it's safer. So just, this is a recommendation, just have a pair of wire cutters as you do it. Well, there's only about 6 steps to putting this together, and the first one is we start with the handlebars, and I'm going to take a look here. We start with the handlebars, we go to the front wheel, the pedals, and then to the headlight, and then just adjust it. That's it. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that, and you can see how long that takes us, and we'll let you know. Okay. So far, wow, the packaging's been great, and it's been easy so far. All right.
Well, friends, to this point, it has now taken us an hour to unbox and to put everything together.
Yeah, honestly, it wasn't too bad. As those that follow along with us know, I'm kind of a do-it-yourselfer.
You are.
However, I did intentionally build this only using their tools in the box except for the pair of wire cutters to cut all the zip ties and to get us to here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to size this to Nancy and get the handlebars adjusted. There's 3 different adjustments here, and get the seat adjusted. Then she's going to go for a quick ride on it.
We're going to give this a try. It has been over a year since I've been on a bicycle.
Okay.
So we're going to see.
And here's the important thing. We're riding it without any power on, nothing. We're just making sure that everything's tight, that it's all adjusted to her. And this is an important safety point. If you're not comfortable with this, haven't worked on bicycles before, feel free to get with a local professional. They'll size the bike for you, tighten it, and they'll actually do a good check over it as well.
Right.
So if you're not comfortable doing that, okay?
Okay.
All right, we've got it all set up. We sized it. She took a test ride with no power. We've turned on the power.
Right, we need to learn the modes here, but we're going to start at level 1. And
Yeah.
we use a little power to get me up the hill there in the driveway.
Okay, and you
Right.
can always switch. And all you do is you hit these switches up right here, and then that takes your power level up. And then don't forget, actually utilize the shifter too, just like
Okay.
on any old bike.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, here's the light, and here's the horn. It's
Okay.
loud.
Okay,
Okay,
go give it a try.
here we go. Well, that was pretty cool for a test drive there. It's
Your first time on an e-bike.
My first time on an e-bike. I mean, you don't even have to pedal. It's almost, it's like cheating, but in a good way.
You know, I was watching you, and you even had a little trouble with your knees getting this step over.
Yeah.
You know, how was it though, actually being on a bike like this? Did it enable you to really ride good?
It did, because I can basically ride it and not stress my knees at all.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
really what I need right now.
Well-
so I was pretty amazed.
Well, let's do a quick wrap up of the installation. It took us just a little over an hour, including getting it sized to you and everything. I would say overall, I used only the tools, like I said, that they included. But overall, I'd say taking an hour to assemble it from box to riding, that's pretty impressive.
Pretty cool.
So,
And honestly, I think I can see us having a lot of fun with this.
well, we're about to. So
Yeah.
stay tuned right here, because the next thing you see, we're going to be riding up in the fall leaf changing, all the changing of the colors here in the fall in Michigan. And we're going up to
Glen Arbor.
Glen Arbor, Michigan. We've got a bed and breakfast there, and you're going to see us riding on the trails near Sleeping Bear Dunes, one of the most beautiful, the National Lakeshore there, one of the most beautiful places in the world. So stay tuned for that. That's coming right up.
Well, Mike, the last couple of days were a lot of fun. Seriously, I had a blast.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad. Yeah, our first experience with e-bikes and everything from the delivery to the assembly. By the way, one thing that I'd like to mention is that we talked about it taking an hour to put this bike together, when we put the second bike together, I literally had it from unboxing to riding it in between 15 and 20 minutes, actually closer to 15.
You did. You used some of your own tools, and we weren't we weren't recording it, so that saved a little time there as well.
Right. I wasn't being, following each step in the instructions. So really, in reality, it's 15, 20 minutes from grabbing the box to riding the bike. It's amazing how quickly they went together. Easy to ride. I mean, you were going right along. I can validate that it does hit 25 miles an hour. You got to move a little bit on there. It does that. We rode the bikes for 2 days, about 30 miles. And we used about half the battery.
On a single charge, yeah.
So we never charged the battery while we were gone. So yeah, it's, I think that, what would you give it out of 5 stars?
Oh, I definitely give it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say too that they put a lot of thought. There's a lot of thoughtful things in here that I just wanted to point out. And one is there's some wrist rests on the handlebar grips, which that was very, that made it for a more comfortable ride.
Right, I liked it too. You can really rest on there and it's more comfortable, I agree.
It was very easy to change gears, to change the mode, that was easy to do while you're riding. The kickstand is in a good place on the bike. I really think we only had one con, and that was the suspension,
right?
Or lack thereof on the rear tire.
Exactly. So this is the EX6. It has a front suspension. It's not great. It's not bad, but it does have a front suspension. Does not have a tail suspension. The new Hiboy, I believe it's the EX7. That one does have a full rear suspension to it as well. So if you really want
more comfort,
right? If you're really wanting ultimate comfort, you might look to get something with suspension on both sides. But the fat tires really added a lot of
and the seat had good cushioning as well.
Was great. Yeah, easy to flip up to put the battery in and out. So no, I was very happy with it.
Right. And as far as my ride went, I was a little apprehensive just because of my knees and everything. It's really like cheating in a very good way, because there's the most minimal amount of stress or pressure as you're pedaling, that it just takes off and goes. And I was pretty generous with using the throttle a lot. And it's still, and
we had a lot of hills on this ride.
We did. So getting down to only half battery, I thought was probably pretty good for 30 miles. While we were riding, we ran into a number of people. E-bikes are very popular up here in Michigan. Who knew? But people would ask us a lot of questions. They seemed very impressed with our bikes. So I thought that was neat too.
Yeah, because we ran into some that only had maybe a 15-mile range.
Right.
And we were out in the middle of nowhere riding, and they were, just having to pedal like regular bikes. And they asked us about ours, and they're like, "Wow, you get that much range out of yours."
Yeah. So I was very pleased about that. But yeah, I just think for me to be able to keep moving my body is probably the best thing, but yet there was just so little stress. So I was so pleasantly surprised. I really was.
I was too. So once again, we give the Hiboy EX6 a 5 out of 5 for empty nesters.
Yes.
Moving on into this stage of life, and I think this is going to open up a big world for us that we can explore, even at this stage of life.
Oh, I agree. And wasn't our ride beautiful?
It was.
It was stunning.
Well, thanks a lot for taking a look at our review. Follow along with all of our other adventures, including our full 274-night Ultimate World Cruise, where we went around the world for 9 months. Take a look at that. And then we're going to also follow up with a full review of Glen Arbor, Michigan, our ride up there and what the town's like in the fall. Take a look at that and you'll get to see our review of everything up there as well. Well, thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed this review. Hope it was helpful. Yep. And take a look at the Hiboy EX6. We were very happy with it.
We sure were. Well, have a beautiful day, friends. Take care.
Bye-bye now.